All right, so welcome back to Jim Bob's Garden. Today we're going to talk about the coronavirus. Now, I am not a medical authority. I'm not here to tell you how to get rid of the coronavirus or how to avoid the coronavirus. But one of the things they're talking about is a 14-day self-quarantine that a lot of people are having to do. And it's really hit home because here yesterday, I believe it was, we had our first coronavirus case here in Jacksonville, Florida. So the news is full of different ways to avoid the coronavirus and so on. But the number one thing they tell you is to avoid people, to avoid contact with other people and surfaces that other people will have touched. So the best way to do that is to stay home. And obviously it makes it hard if you can't get groceries, which I guess is a real big problem right now. That a lot of people are going to the grocery store and there's just nothing there. And this is why I highly recommend situations like this. No, it's not the end of the world. No, it's not going to kill everybody. But when you need to be able to eat at home, it's a great thing to be able to go out in your garden and get fresh food and vegetables and such. And with that in mind, I'm going to show you kind of what I got going on just here in this local quick area. Like you'll see behind me, I got the onions, and then I've got a ton of lettuce. The lettuce, I probably got enough lettuce there to make salads for a good solid 2 weeks for just the three of us. I've got cilantro growing over here. I got dill. They're all various and sundry different types of, things you can augment a salad with. Over here, I've got my broccoli coming up. Now, you can eat the broccoli leaves as they sit. Down in here, I'm just starting to get a little bit of spinach. Spinach is a fast grower. You'll see there's a little bit there. There's another one there. As long as you keep it moist and it continues to grow, it'll produce leaves that you can eat here in the next, probably the next week. Over here, I've got some radishes going. I've got the white radishes and the red radishes. Radishes themselves are good, but you can also eat the greens, particularly when they're young like this. All right, I got some tomatoes growing, but those will be a while before I get food off of those. All right, but if I had to eat right now, I have plenty of the lettuce. I have some of the greens. I have some broccoli, some cabbage over here. You look over here, I've got some bok choy, which is already heading out. By the way, if you bok choy, apparently the reason that this is already starting to bolt is because it got cold. Anytime it goes below 50, it thinks that wintertime is here, so it starts to bolt out and make seed. This is some purple cabbage, which again, I can eat the leaves off of this right now. So not a lot of leaves there yet, but a good food source, particularly if you give me 2 weeks. And then over here, you look around, my pepper plants died back. We did get a cold snap, but they're starting to come back with some peppers. But most important is that I have fruit. So the nice thing about fruit is that you need vitamin C. This is a loquat, and they're very high in vitamin C and fresh nutrients that'll keep you going, because you can eat all the salads you want, but you got to have some protein and you got to have some fruit of some sort. And then here, you can just barely see I got my plums. Here in about a couple, 2-3 weeks, I might have plums here that are ripe and ready to eat. So this is just a small, there's my beans too. My beans are starting to come up nice. But again, that's probably going to be 3 weeks to a month before I see any beans off of that. So I got plenty of vegetables. I got plenty of greens that are either growing or grown to where I can eat them. The problem I have right now is a lack of protein. But for that, you can buy dried pinto beans or any other kind of dried beans in the store if they have them. Like we went to Walmart and they were completely out of dried beans and toilet paper for some reason. All right, because I guess you poop a lot when you're self-quarantining. At any rate, these are the things that I look at. I try and keep a good supply of stuff growing. Some things that have grown through the winter, the Suriname spinach. Also, here, let me show you over here. The longevity spinach, which I've got a little bit of it right here. It's just really starting to come out. I cut it way back when I did my potatoes, but you can see the longevity spinach, really good, tasty spinach. And then, of course, I've got some my collard greens here. Again, very much like kale, if you eat them green, or you can cook them down. And then the last thing, the one thing I do have that is a a protein source is these beans, or peas, the pigeon peas, which you can eat as a protein source as well. Any legumes usually are a protein source, but unfortunately, that one pod only made that many beans or peas. So there's not a lot of protein there, but it'll get you by in a pinch. All right, so in addition to having a garden growing, we also have a good stockpile of various and sundry different goods in our pantry, which is one of the reasons we like this house, because it has a real nice large pantry. All right, so you want to make sure you got a good stockpile there as well. Of course, make sure you got lots of honey buns. I've got almost 14 days of honey buns, if it ever comes down to that. But a good solid stock in the pantry helps, particularly canned goods. See my little stash of canned goods, including some meat and vegetables and soups and so on. In addition to a pantry, I highly recommend that you have a freezer. And we got a small one because we didn't want to use up a lot of juice, but it's a nice freezer that holds quite a little bit. And we've got it pretty well full of various and sundry different items: meat, chicken, bread, pizza, burgers, and so on and so forth. And highly recommend having a small freezer of some sort, or a large one if you want to pay the money for the electric bill. It's not too bad with a chest freezer typically. All right, but if you're a fisherman or a hunter, a freezer is a must. And in times like this, when you're concerned about the ability to go get food at the store, it's really nice to have a solid stockpile that you can rely upon and know that you can replenish at a later date. So, do I think that the apocalypse is here? We all need to hide in our house and avoid everybody? No. But this will take the edge off and allow me to have fresh vegetables, to have good food without having to go to the store to get it. All right, great reason to grow a garden. All right, so that's my reasoning for a garden. That's how we're going to hopefully get through this period of unrest and problems and binge buying because of the coronavirus. All right, so let me know what you think. Give me ideas on what you do, and please like, subscribe, and tell your friends. Thanks for stopping by.